I think a majority of my career with Andy, I always felt that way. I felt like he always had the answers. And, when your coach feels that way and he exuberates that confidence, you can feel it throughout the week. Like, and with us in Philly, it started on Wednesday. Like, come Wednesday, by 5 o'clock, I knew exactly what needed to be done. I was on the same page with Andy. I understood the game plan. I felt good about it. And it was because he made me feel good about it. And he helped me understand everything that needed to happen. And that's what great coaches do. Mike Tomlin as well on the defensive side of the ball. I think he's one of the greatest because of the way he prepared and have his guys prepared. They can answer any question come game time, before the game starts on Sunday or Monday. And it just makes everybody's job easy. And coaching really matters, at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's no question that football is the sport where in the NBA it's about the individual star, baseball it's analytics, football is still a coaching sport. So Baker Mayfield yesterday, did it change? He finally beat a really good team on the road. He was very good. Does it change the way you look at Baker today?
It shows me that Baker has it in him. And I think for Baker, it comes a point in time where, you look around the locker room, you look around in practice, and you look at the game film and you say, okay, we're good on defense. We have great receivers. We can run the football. If I just do my job and you simplify it than doing your job, then I make the team that much better.
Right.
And I think that's what Baker is starting to realize. If I just do my job, I don't have to do everybody's job. You can only control what you can control. It makes you that much better. And for him, it's just staying within the framework of the system, of the offense, and running it efficiently and letting guys do their job. And it looked like that's what they did yesterday and for the past couple of weeks. And his job is starting to look easier and easier. So, as Baker Mayfield continues to show us, that he has a good grip on things around him, the better I feel about his situation, but he's still a work in progress.
You interviewed Kyler Murray this week. Michael and I are on Fox NFL Kickoff every Sunday morning, have been for years, and you interviewed Kyler. He's one Hail Mary pass away from being on a 5-game losing streak. He's not running as much, therefore it's more pocket, and he's struggling. You've been there. You've been a guy that runs. Do you kind of feel his pain? Where is he at right now, and where are you at with Kyler Murray this morning?
I think, to his credit, man, a shoulder injury, an AC joint injury, it's probably one of the worst injuries to have. And, I've been able to play hurt, throughout my career on numerous occasions. But the shoulder, in 2002, it was a different injury. It bothers you at night. Bothers you when you wake up in the morning. It takes a while to get going. And the last thing you want is to get hit on it. Then you got to go to practice and you got to continue to throw. And it just never gets better. So, mentally in your mind, you lose your arm strength. You lose everything that exuberates the confidence that you should have in playing the quarterback position. And it's been a big drop-off. On top of that, teams are paying attention to what he does best and taking that away.
Yeah.
It's evident it's a copycat league. Coaches are watching, and it's only going to get harder. It's not going to get any easier. So, when the going gets tough, you got to get going, man. You got to figure out a way to make sure that, you do your job accordingly. And that's where Kyle is at right now. So
Carson Wentz may get benched for Jalen Hurts. It's a tough decision because you just think, well, Jalen played better. But now you're dealing with the star quarterback and what's in his head. If you were Doug Peterson, because Jalen Hurts did offer a spark. I mean, he wasn't great, but he offered a spark. We can't debate that. Would you replace Carson Wentz and just say, I got to see what I got here. This is a mess. What would you do?
If I was Doug, I'd take a couple of days to just think about the decision and probably make this decision on Wednesday morning based on what he's seen on film. Obviously, you can't go away from Carson. Contractually, you're tied up right there. But Jalen does provide a spark, and you did draft him in the second round, which means you've seen some in him. Now, whether you just drafted this guy to put a little pressure indirectly on Carson Wentz, that's their business. But if that's the case, then this is the time to put him out there because the team need a spark, not just the offense, the defense too. At some point, you can eventually lose the locker room. So even if, like Mike Tomlin quoted, if you get a little JV-ish, you play Carson in the first half and then you play Jalen in the second half, depending on how things are going, and that's just what it is. But Give this team a spot. Give them a chance. You know, they still, you know, human beings with emotions. Let them go out there and let it all hang out. Give them a reason to believe.
So I watched Drew Lock last night, and I figured out who he is. He's Jay Cutler. Great arm, but he doesn't play with a ton of urgency. Little loose for my taste. Just kind of.
Yeah.
Roll. By the way,
wiry.
Do you see a little bit of that?
I seen it, and I was evaluating Drew, and I liked the conditions last night on the road in Kansas City, a divisional opponent, and it's like, okay, Drew, show me what you're gonna do, and he didn't show much. Like I said, a little wiry, a lot of errant throws, didn't look comfortable, and I would love to watch this team a little more to see what type of system they're running and what they're doing, but it was balls flying all over the place, and this was a good test for him. He's in his second year, and just like we've been evaluating everybody in their second year, and we evaluate harder. You know, this is the time to show John Elway in this franchise that you are the guy. And I don't think he's shown that. So, you know, a little disappointed in Drew Lock last night. You know, we'll give him some more games, but it can't give him too much time.
Yeah, because their running game was pretty good, and Denver's defense kept the game close. So he got some breaks last night, and he didn't come through, and I think that's part of it. Michael Vick, Fox NFL Kickoff on Sunday. I love having you on, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
You know, it is. So I was watching him last night, and I'm like, he's Jay Cutler, who drove me nuts. Is that they can move, but Jay Cutler had a great arm. Great arm. And Drew's got an arm. He can really sling it. And this sounds weird, but like urgency. This drives me nuts in people in general. Like when we do a show on the show, be present and be urgent. We have a show, it's 3 hours, it's live. You got to be in the. I used to have a producer that would go for smokes. Like during the show, be like, dude, we're on the air live. So we can't go for smokes during the breaks. And it's like, Drew plays like Jay. Like, I know he cares, kind of. Like with Brady, for all his faults, he plays with, Breeze is like this too. Breeze plays with incredible urgency. Every snap, Drew is totally into it. Russell Wilson plays with this. And it's hard to explain. Russell Wilson is completely in the moment and totally urgent. There's no off plays. Cutler and Drew are just kind of, it's AAU basketball, man. I'll get it next time. Gonna sling this thing. It's like, right now, last in completion percentage in the league, last in passer rate. And this is not a Denver team lacking talent. Melvin Gordon's really good. He got a running game last night. Fant, Jerry Jeudy, the kid out of Penn State. Like this is not a team lacking. This is not the Jets. Like their O-line's not great, but they got a tight end. They got a back. He got defensive help last night. He just needs. I don't know if you can coach that up.
You want to feel like everyone is as frustrated as you are as a fan when you lose.
You never felt that with Jay Cutler.
No.
Jay would go home and, yeah, we lost. I want you to be pissed. It's got to drive you nuts. That's what I know.
Yeah, you have to be as mad as we are as fans.
Exactly. I demand that. Starting in 2021, Discovery Plus, a new streaming service, U.S. only. Some of your favorite brands plus exclusive originals. U.S. only. Discovery Plus. Hour 3 next.